a history-making polar explorer, that is for sure, and mountaineer. But that's just part of her incredible life story. Before becoming a pioneer for the women in the sport, Alison first had to navigate a life-threatening medical condition. Our Jaime Maggio sat down with her to talk about her long list of accomplishments, which includes reaching the summit of Mount Everest in 2010.
That summit of Everest was the completion for me of what's known as the Adventure Grand Slam, which is climbing the 7 summits. That's the highest peak on every continent, and then skiing to both the North and the South Pole. And at the time when I accomplished this, only a couple people in the world had done it.
Before completing the Adventure Grand Slam, and before she captained the first American women's Everest expedition, Alison had to overcome a heart defect that's required 3 surgeries.
It was actually something that I was born with. It was a hole in my heart that got bigger as I got older. Probably from the time I was 8 years old, I knew something was wrong, and the symptoms got worse as I got older, but I didn't realize how serious it was until I was 17 years old and I lost consciousness. And the friends that I was with at the time had the good sense to rush me to the emergency room where I was diagnosed with a life-threatening heart condition.
At one point, the doctors are saying you shouldn't walk upstairs, and you're like, I'm going to climb mountains. Like, how did you get from there to there?
I know, I thought, well, I know stairs are out, but is Mount Everest okay? When I was a kid, I always loved these adventure stories. So I would read books and watch documentary films about these expeditions going to these remote mountain ranges, and I would read about these polar explorers, and I always thought these stories were so incredible. And I ended up having my second heart surgery when I turned 30. And that surgery was successful. And at that point, this light bulb went on in my head. And I thought, if these other guys can go do this stuff, why can't I do it too? So I climbed my first mountain when I was 32 years old.
Which mountain was that?
The first mountain I ever went to was Mount Kilimanjaro. It's the mountain where I learned that I could keep going even when I felt like absolute crap. Each one is so different that I will never get tired of the sport.
Did anyone say, like, Alison, you're crazy? What are you thinking? Or did they know that this was your passion?
I'm someone who's always liked to push my boundaries and challenge myself. And I'm also not afraid of things not always going my way. I know I'm not going to always get to the top of every mountain I climb. I know that sometimes I'm going to be thwarted by bad weather or other circumstances, but I still like really getting out to these environments, getting out to these mountains and pushing myself.
Off the mountains, Alison has worked on Wall Street, authored a New York Times bestseller, and served as an adjunct professor at West Point in the Department of Behavioral Sciences and Leadership.
I really love talking to groups about how you lead in extreme environments and how you achieve big things in times of great uncertainty.
One of the most powerful lessons she learned was while working with former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger on his campaign finance team in 2003.
At that point in the campaign, pretty early on, he probably didn't even know my name. It was a big campaign staff. I was walking down the hallway, and he looked at me, and he stopped me, and he said, "How's our mountain climber doing today?" And my jaw just hit the floor, and I thought, wait, what? How does he know that about me? That is how you build trust and loyalty on a team. You make sure that the people on your team know that you care about them as a person, not you care about them in their job function.
Alison is now a highly sought-after keynote speaker on leadership development.
What is your message? What are you trying to impart from your life experiences to help them, tackle things in their everyday lives?
I think the biggest lesson that I like to share with people that I really want people to take to heart is to remember that the people that get to the top of Mount Everest are not necessarily the fastest, strongest climbers out there. They're the people who will not quit when it's really frickin' hard. They're the people who will put one foot in front of the other, even when visibility is not perfect, even when they're incredibly uncomfortable. Those are the people that get to the summit.
Her speeches are so inspiring. After one, in 2017, an all-female brewery in Charlotte decided to name a beer in her honor. It's called Conquer the Route Chocolate Stout.